So I was just saying what is really the truth. Indiana Fever dropped this game tonight, and very bizarre in how they did it. And when I say very bizarre in how they did it, I mean you can win some games, lose some games a certain way. The way the Indiana Fever lost tonight in a playoff game was bizarre. Okay, and when I say bizarre, I really mean bizarre.
Because we climbed all the way back in and definitely had our opportunities late, and then a few different miscues, and it's back to a two-possession game, and we couldn't quite get over the hump there. So, like AB said, like it's a good little taste of what's possible for this organization and for this franchise, and there's a lot for us to hold our heads high about. This team won I think 5 games 2 years ago, so we're a young group, a pretty inexperienced group. But we came together and had a lot of fun playing with one another, and that's sometimes the worst part of it is like you feel like you're really playing your best basketball and then it has to end. And but like I said, proud of this group, stayed resilient all year and had a lot of fun together.
I mean, let's take a look at it and let's see what happened. You're talking 87-81, sit tight because we're going to get into a lot on this one. 87-81, okay, the Indiana Fever lose. Okay, they come out of there. I mean, really what happened? I mean, they shot 43% from the field, 33 of 76. Come back, bounce back, 8 of 30 from 3, 26%. And 77% from the line. How did Connecticut do it? Not too much, but about the same. 41% coming in there from the field, 26% from the three-point line, 95% at the free throw line.
I think the word that Caitlin just used when she said resilient, I think that's what I'm sitting here. We're all competitors in that locker room, and so it doesn't feel good. It just doesn't feel good to leave here and not have the opportunity to get another one and an opportunity to move forward. But the resiliency that these guys showed all year, but God dang, give Connecticut credit, right? Like they are an extremely good team. Proud of these guys for how we played on Sunday, and they took from that and really did what we asked them to do tonight and gave ourselves a chance to win. Really proud of these guys, but these guys are hungry, and like AB said, it sucks. Like AB said, they were having to, that it ends now.
As you can see, they got 23 free throws, and here's the deal. You get into it, and folks, I'll tell you something. My eyes can deceive me. My eyes can deceive me, but the fans of the WNBA and the Indiana fans, and I have to bring it to you because it's not my quote. Okay, the fan comes and says in the comments, and please do me 2 favors because this one tonight is going to be a super edition, and I really want you to hit the like button. Okay. If you don't feel like subscribing today, that's fine. If you have something you like or dislike about us, if you dislike it, send me a comment. Let's see if we can get it right. But I have never seen anything like this before.
Got 2 in the front row. Go Doug, then we go Chloe.
Caitlin, you guys were right there. I mean, the AB's layup, I think, put you up 1 with 2:05 left or so, and then they made plays down the stretch. You guys couldn't hit the shots you needed. You've been in a position before in college where it ends suddenly. Mm-hmm. How long do you think it's going to take you to sort of process the season you've had, which is obviously we talk about record-breaking on the court and off the court, to enjoy now what you did over the course of the year?
Yeah, it's definitely different for me. I feel like basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened. Like, I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast. And then I came here and was trying to give everything I could to this team and kind of move on and put all that behind me and help this team, get back to the playoffs. So I feel like taking some time to myself and really enjoying that and reflecting back, and, it was special. There was a lot of things that this group accomplished that, a lot of people probably didn't think was possible, 1, to start the season, and 2, after the start we had to the season. So, yeah, it'll definitely be probably a little weird for me over the course of the first couple weeks, and then I'm sure I'll get bored and pick up a basketball again. So,
now, here was the comments that I'm getting. Money Mike, was this game rigged? Was this game rigged? Is this game really truthful? And because some of the things, again, you start out, the WNBA officials lost again. I mean, they don't know which number, or they're so focused on calling fouls. And in response to the comment, I got to answer it. The WNBA officials are so focused on calling fouls, they can't realize they don't even have the numbers correct. And you got to go in there and you're taking timeouts. I mean, credibility out there tonight. Caitlinclark got fouled. I mean, hard foul. No call. Okay, so the credibility just keeps getting shot, right?
Stay in the front row, go Matt, then we'll go Chloe.
Yeah, Christie, despite the result, obviously a spirited effort. Was just curious what your message to the team was at half, what the atmosphere in the locker room was like, and then obviously, after, just a little bit ago and processing the loss and what you said.
Yeah, halftime. What would I say? Halftime.
Win the game. Win the
I think
game.
that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Halftime was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. I mean, these guys never were in a position that we couldn't win this game. We were right, whatever it was at half, and we just kind of kept, like, it was like an engine. We just kind of kept getting better as the game went on. We kept putting them in bad, situations that they had to make decisions as it relates to, when Caitlin was pushing, and then we would get AB a touch, and then the floor would just space out, and we were getting the hollow touches, and then we were getting those mismatches. I mean,
And to Ryan Stevens, the public relations director for the Indiana Fever, listen here, man, I salute you. I really do, because your job is a hard job. And when I say a hard job, I mean you're working at it day and night, and you got to get it right, right? And there's no doubt about it. Well, it works the same way for me. As I work day and night, I've got to get it right. And I'm going to tell you this, folks, when you hear it from me, the Indiana Fever, that ain't no happy home over there. The Indiana Fever got a lot of funk in the building. I mean, a lot of funk.
everything that we talked about that we knew would help us be successful tonight, we did that. I don't even think we made an adjustment at halftime. We watched a couple situations that we knew we could be better at. Just the final game is just one you can't even explain when, especially when it ends like that. And as hard as these guys played, and as proud as I am of them, and from the start till now, to end 20-20 and 6th in the league. I mean, we started 1-8. I mean, that's just unprecedented. And these guys, they fought, they worked, they got 1% better every single day. I just kept telling them.
Caitlinclark was not happy. Okay, Boston. I mean, they're sitting there, and I salute Ryan Stevens. And here's the reason why: is because your job's tough enough. You've kept a lid on this thing, and you did a great job doing it. And I don't know the Indiana Fever, the media to the Indiana media. You know what? I mean, you guys really great job, but at the same time, you guys also give them a lot of room, latitude, and a lot of softballs. Because the true question, if I'm at that press conference, Christie Sides, will you be back next year? That's the question. Christie Sides, will you be back next year? Okay, if you can answer that question for me, then we can move forward and we can start getting to the level of intelligence of what's really going on with the Indiana Fever.
Front row left, Andrea, then Scott.
Caitlin, they said on the broadcast tonight that you were not going to play overseas. You were going to take some time. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that decision?
Are you snitching? Are you snitching on me?
I don't. I was focused on beating the Connecticut Sun. I haven't thought too far down the line. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do the next day. So maybe play some golf. I think that's what I'm going to do until it gets too cold in Indiana. So I got that. I'll become a professional golfer.
I'm going to give you a little insight that this one here got a little out of control. And here's the reason why. And you got it. A lot of times you can sugarcoat it, but this one you can't sugarcoat it. And when I get to the box score again, folks, in all my years of basketball, and I tell you, I've seen enough, okay, how do you get to the playoffs and all of a sudden you got a player you can't play, okay? You have a player that you cannot play, and you go up and down on their minutes, okay? So you get here to Nia Smith, okay? Nia Smith, guys, for some reason, checked out. Call it what you want to call it, okay? Or Christie sides decide not to play her. 4 minutes. Okay, Dantes plays 24 minutes the other night, gets 9 minutes tonight. Okay, this whole thing got out of order and out of control. And when you get to it, folks, I'm going to ask you another question as we go along. Okay, I told you the other night that Indianafever in the wrong defense. Made it as clear as day they're in the wrong defense. What do? We don't make any adjustments. So what happened in the first game? Okay, you got to listen. Thomas gets 12 assists, comes back tonight, gets 13.
Not too much, babe.
Yeah.
Just wait, keep it basketball.
Go Scott, then we'll stay in the second row on the left for the next two.
Christie, you're up, I think, a basket with 2 minutes to go, and then kind of that late game execution that I think we talked about the start of the season. I think a couple turnovers, and then how backbreaking were those 3 straight triples that you guys yielded?
Yeah, I know there was a time where I went into the huddle and I just said, score, stop, score. And I think we went out and executed, and Kelsey came open on a wide open 3, and it just didn't fall. You know, and then we had another opportunity, and we got downhill and got to the rim. Had some other people open as well, I think. I need to go back and look, but I think these guys are executing late, and then you just, then it's about the basketball gods and if that ball's going to fall. Had a couple of defensive situations that we're going to, that we're going to go back and be probably really upset about. But I mean, these guys, they battled, and these guys, they're a great team. Connecticut is a great team, and if you just for a second have a lapse, they're going to make you pay. And that, I think that's what great teams do. And these guys have a great opportunity to go and win this thing. I really believe that.
Can you imagine, folks, when I say in the wrong defense, please understand what I'm saying. Can you imagine them doing a sag defense on Caitlinclark and just giving her free range to look at every angle that I could see, and I have no defender in front of me? That's what they did, and it burned them. It burned them in game time. She went in there, Christie sides at halftime, and said, we didn't make any adjustments. And, folks, I've seen a lot in basketball. I've seen a lot in the NBA. I haven't seen where the player that gets you in the game takes the whole shot. We go back Bush League, and we have her taking the ball out of bounds. You don't have a play designed for Caitlinclark. You don't have an out-of-bounds 2-second designed for Caitlinclark. You don't have sets. You should have 15 sets to run her off. You called the timeout. I told you.
Next two on the second row to the left.
Hi, Caitlin. This question is for you. For everybody that knows clearly, unless they've been hiding under a rock, they've seen you start from your last college basketball season to go into the draft to, ever since last season, the lights have been on. Being as it's your last game for the season, on a scale of 1 to 10, physically, how do you feel?
I feel pretty good. I'm still young, so I don't know. I feel pretty good. I don't know.
She could
I
have
think
played
could probably
40
play
on
another
Friday.
40
Yeah, she could have
as
played
well.
40
I don't know
on
why they
Friday.
take me out. That's all I have to say.
They did.
But no, I know I played 40 today.
Yeah,
but
girl.
I feel pretty good. I feel like and it kind of had to be an adjustment over the course of coming from the college level to the professional level. Like you're playing game, day off game. Like you got to really take care of your body and prioritize that. And nobody's here to babysit you. Like you're a professional. Like this is your job. Like you better figure it out and do it yourself. So I think that's something that as my career continues to go down the line, it's something you're gonna have to take a little more pride in probably, and probably won't feel young for forever. So I hope, maybe, I don't know, but yeah.
Aaliyah, you talked about the steps it takes for a franchise to go to win a championship. You're entering your second off season. What lessons did you take from your first off season that you're going to implement to help improve yourself, but also the team?
Yeah, I think just continue to work on my training, continue to make sure that I'm doing all the right things. Especially, I think when you look at the way we played our rookie season, my rookie season to this season, I think the pace was just a lot faster. So now I think just having a better feel of that, especially going into this, is going to be a better gauge for me for this off season. But just continue to work.
Got Sabrina, then we got a few on Zoom after that.
Christie Sides could either fix it, correct it, or put herself on the hot seat. I think you done burned out. You done burned out, okay, on this hot seat because Christie Sides is really out there, and I don't think she knows where she is. And if she did, she sure isn't letting us know because her comments are way out there. I made no adjustments at halftime. Okay, well, what are we doing? This thing here got away from them, and they don't know if it came. There's a couple different reasons this could have happened. And I'm not really sure how it got to the stage that it's at, but it's at an ugly stage. And when you get to an ugly stage and you get Caitlinclark in a press conference letting you know, well, this was a great team we had. If you notice, Caitlinclark's went all together past tense. And if you look at her reactions, okay, Caitlin's reactions when Christie Sides is speaking, it's a reaction of I'm done. I'm done. And I mean, I just haven't seen this. This is something that has come out, and everyone is kind of going, oh, happy times. There's no happy times with the Indiana Fever. I can tell you that right now. There is.
Obviously, you have to sit in this moment, but at what point do you get to be excited about what the future holds for this team? And do you feel like you guys have everything in this locker room that you need to get to that next level?
Oh, for sure. We definitely have the pieces to have some great years ahead of us. I mean, this young talent that we have, and yeah, it's kind of the advice that I've been given all year, just, with the sold-out arenas that we've been playing in and the way these guys have just kept growing. Like, they've just kept growing into being where we are right now. And, when you're in it, it's hard to just take a second to just look and, enjoy it. We're always looking for that edge. We're looking for that next, whatever we need to do to have these guys ready. We want to make sure they're prepared for everything. So probably take a couple weeks to kind of decompress a little bit. Looking forward to getting a good night's sleep and not waking up just thinking basketball all the time. But that's the job. That's what we do. And these guys, they make us look really, really good at times because of what we have in that locker room.
Like, I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. I mean, Caitlin goes out, plays the game, and got so upset during the game. Very, very upset was Caitlin during the game. And it was obvious to me, but, you look at it and you go, well, what happened? I mean, they're out there dog-tired. And I can tell you this, you've lost Mitchell. Mitchell's gone. Mitchell was gone. Christie Sides, whatever went on internally in that Fever building, okay, Kelsey Mitchell was very adamant. She came here to make a deep run in the playoffs, played her heart out, okay? But when you leave the team short with players, I don't know how the conversations went. I don't know how things went. I really don't know, but this one here did not go good.
Go to Zoom, Tony, and then Akeem. Tony, go ahead. Yep.
I just reflected on the season a little bit, just of, the start and how proud I was of them for their growth. Just getting, our goal was to make the playoffs, and, we achieved that. So started there. But just proud of the adversity that these guys went through, just the expectations that were insane for us to start this season and what people thought we should be doing, and just the, just the outside noise that these guys had to endure.
Okay, you get a situation where you're not even playing the players. I mean, you have no chance of winning. It's zero chance. And even if you fought back, you still are not able to get it done. And that's disappointing. I mean, Clark played 40 minutes and Mitchell played 40 minutes. Between the two of them, I mean, they shot it well. 10 of 23, 7 of 18, 3 of 9 from the three-point line, 3 of 12. Okay, you look at the rebounds. Caitlin, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 3 turnovers in 40 minutes. Did I say that right? 3 turnovers in 40 minutes. Think about that, folks. Think about that, okay? You got to look at it. Why did the Indiana Fever lose this game? You got Christie side sitting there telling everybody, what a great group. Yep, this group's great. This group's great. This group's great. It's over. It's over. It's over. And I
from game one till now, there's a lot of hurtful, hateful speech out there that's happening, and it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable for any of these guys. This is basketball, and this is their job, and they're doing the best they can. And when it gets personal, to me, that is just when, I mean, there's no reason for it. And these guys have to listen and watch that. Social media is their life. That's just what they do. And they have to read and see these things constantly. And just all of the, the stories that are made up, just of what people see or think they see. I was given a technical because I said F you to the officials. False. So it's just this new world that we're in, and it is just not acceptable when it gets personal for these guys to have to deal with that. So they handled it and kept showing up and kept coming in our locker room and kept finding ways to get better, and we freaking landed in the playoffs after we started 1-8, and that is an incredible story to talk about.
The last two, Akeem, then Mike Vopel.
Yeah, I thought Timmy did an excellent job. The thing that she brings for us is her speed, right? Like, she's able to get out and run in transition, which means that if you are guarding Timmy and you think you're going to try to get an offensive rebound, you're really thinking, I better get my ass back because Timmy's about to run. And we've got, guards that are going to hit her in stride, and that is just something that I thought, when you get to the playoffs and you're in an elimination game, you got to find something to try differently. And I thought she did a great job for us. She, defensively, her length and her speed, just movement, her veteran presence out there, just did a great job for us.
I could see it. And Ryan Stevens, I tell you, I salute you. And here's the reason why. And I know Lynn Dunn probably couldn't do it. I could admit that. And, salute to Lynn. Lynn's been there, won a championship. But, you hired Christie Sides. Okay, so you got to be accountable for Christie Sides. And if you have to be the one to fire Christie Sides as the general manager, then you must have a replacement or somebody willing to come in. So this thing, and Lynn Dunn is committed to the organization. I think Christie Sides is too. I bet, for me, Christie Sides is a great college coach, not a pro coach. No. Because the things you have to do to be a pro coach, you must be emotionless. You must not have emotion, okay? And you must not be Paul Westhead, as he was for the Los Angeles Lakers, and be a philosophy. Christie Sides has a philosophy, okay? That Caitlin, if she takes it out of bounds, then it will be easier because she's the best passer. But you got the player that's going to make the shot, but you don't even give her the opportunity to make the shot. I mean, this thing, Caitlin came in there and said, yeah, this is one of the best teams we ever had. Yeah, you know what? I'm getting out of here. All I know is that I am getting out of here. Okay, and that's serious business, folks. You got to know that the Fever got bunked in the building. Okay, players' minutes got cut. I have no idea what happened, how it happened, and how it all came together, but it's not pretty.
Mike Vopel, last one.
I am a tough grader. Oh gosh, honestly, I feel like there's been so many amazing moments, but it's the moments that none of you see that I enjoy the most. It's not the basketball. It's the people that I get to spend it with, whether it's my family, whether it's my teammates. That's what's been most special for myself, and I feel like those people are the people that know me best. Those are the people that I really care about. So at the end of the day, like, basketball is basketball. Like, it is what it is. And the people around me are what allow me to be really good at it, allow me to have a lot of fun, allow me to be myself. So I don't think it's, like, anything on the court that, like, I would pick. Like, yeah, there's been a lot of great moments, making the playoffs, getting drafted, whatever it is, you know, making the national championship game. Like, that's all really cool. But at the end of the day, like, it's the people and the relationships and the memories outside of that. And if it's not for you as a professional athlete, like, I feel like you're doing it wrong. I mean, yeah, championships are great, but, you know, hopefully we have a few of those. But if you want to have really good relationships with people at the end of the day. So I feel like it's all of that, and you can't put your finger on just one thing because there's so many. And then, I mean, I don't know how I would grade myself. I'm a tough grader. I feel like I had a solid year, but for me, the fun part is, like, I feel like I'm just scratching the surface, and I'm one that's nitpicking every single thing I do, and I know I want to, you know, help this franchise get even better, help my teammates get even better, be better for my teammates, and I know there's a lot of room for me to continue to improve. So that's what excites me the most. I feel like I can continue to get a lot better, and before we know it, I'm sure we'll all be back here. And
Look really, really good at times because of.
That's a wounded warrior, folks. That's a wounded warrior. When you look at a situation, you know the potentiality of something that you love, you no longer can love or doesn't love you. And that's what's going on. The players have got their frustration. They got all the way here, and I tell you, you lost Mitchell. I'll tell you that right now. Mitchell wanted no part. She ain't no wants no press conference. This whole thing. She's been around this league going on her 8th year, wanted to make a run, and you don't play all the players. You don't even play the lineup, and you leave us out here hanging to dry. And this thing is not good. And you can't go from playing 20 minutes for the Indiana Fever last game of the season, getting 16 points to the playoffs. You don't even score. Okay, it is what it is. I mean, it happened, but that is caused a lot of funk in the Fever house.
Just reflected on the season a little bit, just of, you know, the start and how proud I was of them for their growth. Just getting, you know, our goal was to make the play.
Christie sides make it really hard and really is embarrassing at times because sometimes it pours over into the press conference. And, you know, I mean, she's given her heart and soul, but you can only give what you have. And if you don't have it, then it's difficult to transition or to be able to relate that to the players in championship situations. And this one here burned me. I tell you, Alyssa Thomas getting 25 assists in 2 games. And this is a player you're sagging off in the defense. I mean, that'll cost you the game, folks. I mean, yeah, they battle back in, you make a run, and you're right there, and you got to close that out. And time, you're given the opportunity, but something's going on. I mean, I get it. The officials, they just are in left field calling fouls on players the fouls are no. Here's the thing that concerns me with the WNBA officials. They call fouls on people who aren't even near the play. That questions, okay, I wouldn't say it does question the integrity of the WNBA officials. I've seen that happen in 2 games. I've seen the clock go out time and time again. Okay, these are things you got to question, but you can't fix that. You just got to get better officials. Everything changes when you pay more. And for the Indiana Fever and Christie sides, I mean, this is a disappointment. They wanted more. I don't think Christie sides had any more to give them. I think Christie sides gave them all she had. And I think when it got to the level of frustration, she didn't know what to do in game situations. It showed. And they're going home. And everybody's separating. Nobody's going to be together. There's nothing talking of off season or anything like that. It's been a long season. This one hasn't been good for the Indiana Fever. This one hasn't been good for the Indiana Fever, and that's just the truth of it. And it's hard to accept. It's really hard to accept because sometimes you give it your all, you give it your life, and if it doesn't work, then you're out of a job. I mean,
playoffs, and you know, we achieved that. So started there, but just proud of the adversity that these guys went through. Just the expectations that were insane for us to start this season and what people thought we should be doing, and just just the outside noise that these guys had to endure from game one till now. It's a lot of hurtful, hateful speech out there that's happening, and it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable for any of these guys. This is basketball, and this is their job, and they're doing the best they can. And when it gets personal, to me, that is just when, I mean, there's no reason for it. And these guys have to listen and watch that. Social media is their life. That's just what they do. And they have to read and see these things constantly. And just all of the stories that are made up, just of what people say.
Folks, that's a part of the business. And, for the life of me, if any of the listeners out there, you have the authority and the power to control what YouTube does or what Instagram or TikTok allows. Because if it is their life, well, then either they're going to have to change and it no longer is their life. But you can't sit there and complain or cry about what you're hearing when you've got vertical gymnastics going back and forth. Players say what they want, fans say what they want, and then it all waits till the end of the season when you can tell in corporate America where things are going to change, where an individual starts speaking freely, about what's going on with the fans and the league. And, I mean, this one here catches me. I mean, it's got my eye, and there's changes. There's changes coming down the pike, whether you like them or not. And, you gotta look at that because everybody's expressing emotions, but they're all doing it in a different way.
I think they see. I was given a technical because I said F you to the officials. False. So it's just this new world that we're in, and it is just not acceptable when it gets personal for these guys to have to deal with that. So they handled it and kept showing up and kept coming in our locker room and kept finding ways to get better. And we freaking landed in the playoffs after we started 1-8. And that is an incredible story to talk about.
Because you guys got me that Christie sides in game one. Because you got me that Christie sides right there in game one. Because if we would have had that Christie sides in game one, then we would have had what we needed or maybe had even more potential. But, Christie sides, I love her with all my heart. But this is a tough job getting the number one pick. It's so different than LeBron or anything like that. You get the number one pick. Majority of the time, coaching changes. And you know what? You got Kelly as the president. I don't think Lynn Dunn can hire somebody and fire them within 2 years. I don't even know if she's getting fired. I just think it's going to be a situation where she may have to find another job. Excellent college coach. Gets to work with kids from freshmen on, spent a lot of times in the pros, been in the pros. But at the same time, the game's more advanced, and either you can't advance with it, but this thing about somebody else is a great team. You know what? What about my heartfelt to the players who gave all their heart and soul because you're praising another team you just lost to? Yeah, that happens. I guess that's what happens in women's basketball, but I haven't seen it. But at the same time, you can see the reaction of the Fever players, and they're just in a daze. They're in a daze. They're like, how did this happen? What's going on in that locker room? There's Fever funk going on in the locker room. That's what's going on. And really, they waited till the end of the season, I guess, to decide that Nia Smith wasn't going to play. She just wasn't going to play. The Fever take the loss. And this story is going to continue, folks. So I bring this to you now. Christie Sides press conference. I think the chapter's closed. She gave her eulogy in the end, and she made it very plain. Players are being mistreated, but none of that's going to change the judge's mind when it comes to sentencing. And it is what it is. But this is the Money Mike City Kitty Radio podcast. We're powered up by Fanatics. That's part one. As it gets more released, players talk. You're going to hear a lot of things come out of the Indiana Fever building. And Ryan Stevens, you know what? I salute you, buddy. You're doing a great job with the Indiana Fever. And there's going to be a lot of calls, questions, press conference, because the Indiana Fever announced the president in the middle of the playoffs. And now that the playoffs are over, I would anticipate there may be more announcements coming from the Indiana Fever. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. We're powered up by fanatics, and we'll tell you all things are possible to those who believe.